Hello, this is Crypto CJ. It's a trade of the day, Friday afternoon Zoom edition. Bitcoin basically flatlining today, as is Ethereum. Some of the altcoins have had a nice little bump. Seeing some green on my list of interesting coins, so that's good news. We are starting to hopefully mellow out from the fallout of the FTX implosion from last week. It's been one of the worst events in crypto history. So there's just no way to sugarcoat it. It's bad, bad, bad. And it's caused Bitcoin to, it's had a chain reaction through all the tokens and certainly on Bitcoin and Ethereum. Let's go to the chart. Okay, should be seeing my Bitcoin day chart.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, we broke through this range that we were in since June, and I drew a little mini range here because we had 17K as like 17 to 18 was support. Now it's resistance. We've been hanging around 16, between about 16.2 and 17 most of the week. So now it's going to take probably some good news or some continued accumulation to break through and get us above 17. Hopefully get us back up towards 20K. But I don't know if we do that by the end of the year. I'm cautiously optimistic. If you're a CryptNation member, then you may have attended the Lifer call from yesterday, and Brendan and Matt put together a very compelling technical analysis reasoning why we are at the bottom, and showed a lot of historical data, but Bitcoin only having 10, 12 years of experience as an asset. Not sure how reliable that can be, but regardless, it was good information. So if you're in that group and you missed it, you might want to check out the replay. Otherwise, we're just hanging around 16K. Hopefully we break it over the weekend. Ethereum looks a little bit better. It's still in the range from June to the present. It's been obviously tighter between about 1200 and 1300 is where Ethereum has been trading, and it's showing up a little bit green on my list, up 0.6%, where Bitcoin's down 0.3. So mostly trading sideways. There was some concern in one of the groups I'm in about Tether, and every time something implodes, whether it's the UST token and Luna from May or FTX and FTT from last week, people get scared. But this is my Tether chart, and it did dip last week down to 97 cents, but bounced back pretty quickly. On the day chart here, this is back in May, where the same thing happened when Luna and UST bit the dust, but again, it bounced back the next day. So I prefer to see 0.999 or $1 on Tether. Obviously I own some of it as a trader, but not that worried. There is a good article here. I went through it. I'm not going to read through it now, but Tether says they had no Genesis and Gemini are now the concern. The Gemini exchange is fine, just they had a lending program which has been halted. So when you read about Gemini, make sure you make the distinction between the Gemini Earn program and having your funds on Gemini.
Look at that ton of volume on Tether this week.
Yep. So I don't know if people might just been dumping their Tether, worried about it, or maybe they were selling off and actually buying other cryptos. I'm not sure, but again, it bounced right back the next day. So
CJ, what's your protocol for this call? Am I allowed to ask questions?
yeah, we're at the general market at this point. I know you're a Carbon member. We discuss that later in a second Zoom call. So
okay.
But if you want to talk about the market overall and trading, we can do that now.
Questions about the USDT, and I know Kevin's preference is USDC, and I'm wondering if you've done research. Is there any reason to believe one is better than the other or safer than the other?
I have generally heard that USDC has a better, how shall I say it, plan for backing its assets, but I haven't really dug into it to make the distinction. Both of them, have reported numerous times that, that they have at least 1-to-1, if not more so, assets to liabilities. So again, little beyond the scope of this program to go, deep into that, but just the information I'm seeing indicates it's reasonably safe. But if it, not financial advice, if it goes to crap next week,
Yep, got it. No
at
worries.
this point, I was saying, well, absent a Luna event, blah, blah, blah. Now it's absent a Luna and FTT event, blah, blah, blah. So, who knows if we're going to add a third to that.
Yeah.
Things that we thought were reliable. Now, obviously, stable coins are different than, Luna and US and FTT, but still. Yeah, I was, when I first saw the post, and I did read the article that I just referenced. I did bounce over to BitGet, which I know does some USDC futures, and I was looking at that briefly. And so we'll see. I might, make a move over to USDC, but there's just so much less volume. As a trader, you got to have volume. And so I guess that's the risk, where USDT might be a little riskier, the significantly more volume. Is that worth it? I think so, but, it's a decision you have to make yourself. Okay. Any other questions about Bitcoin, Ethereum, stable coins, or the market overall?
I'll just make a comment about the Tether. Excuse me. If I had I wouldn't be using it to store wealth.
Definitely not.
If you've got money stored in Tether that you're not trading with, then I would do something with it. If
Yeah.
you're using it to trade, then great. But I wouldn't be parking money in it, just in case. But like you, I think it's fine. But we've thought other things were fine too.
Indeed. So yeah, I'm not sure exactly what to tell you on that, Trudy, but yeah, the general consensus is USDC is safer than USDT. How much? I'm not sure exactly.
Yeah, fair enough. Thank you.
Okay. But I agree with Craig. Don't have your USDT laying around for months at a time not doing anything. So it should be at least trading or poised to trade, in the near future. Otherwise, it should be in probably something else. Okay, well, what do we do now? It's a Friday afternoon. The market's sideways. Not sure if anything's going to happen, but we should at least try to get in position to make some trades either tonight or over the weekend. Monday at the latest. So I'll go ahead and go over to Altcoin Alert, which is one of the information sources I like to use to locate potential trades. Let's see if we have any newbies on here from Altcoin Alert. Don't think so. That does have some influence on how I approach things. Okay. Let's go back to the Altcoin Alert and okay, I am on the altcoin radar. Easy mode is off. I've got all the information available. I'm going to sort by the AA score and see if there's anything we can at least put some alerts on to make it over the weekend. I'm going to assume that a lot of you are spot trading, so we'll look at things that we can potentially long, catch a dip, and have them bounce back up. And since it's Friday, we'll also look at some options to short over the weekend for those of you who trade leverage. Okay, currently the top coin is 79.4. Bella Protocol. And the thing I was looking at disappeared. I was looking at Didix. Wow, it just went away. Okay. Well, let's look at Bella then. I've traded this before. It's been a while. See if it's still on my list. It is not. Still on Binance. It's looking not the greatest volume. Well, we have the chart up. We'll check it out anyway. Okay, on the 5-minute chart, we're hovering around the SMA line, not a good entry. 1.1%, super squeezy. If you want to get in based on support and resistance, looks like we've got some pretty decent short-term support right here around 0.397. We're not that far from that now. I want to drop a little lower down to 39 cents or 38, maybe even go to a larger time frame to look for support on that. Yeah. Right between about 397, 393 is where we have some short-term support. And it was down as low as 38 cents about 5 days ago. So do a quick, or you could kind of stagger, dollar cost average into it. Maybe start here at 0.395. It dips a little bit more, go in again, and 1 cent later, and again another cent later. So 3 entry points, and split up your usual amount 3 different ways. That's one approach. Another is, as you know, I like to use my indicator alerts, and on the 15-minute chart, because I find that if an alert goes off here, if I go over to the 5-minute chart, I can often be in a dip sequence or have a pretty good entry. A few different options I like to use. The MFI, I don't think we talked about that last time, but I've talked about it many times before. Catching one of these dips below 20 and then having it bounce back up. But it doesn't look like any of these worked out very well for Bella. We had this one drop here and then come back, so I would have gotten in right about here. 1.5%, not bad, especially if you're on, say, 5 or 10x leverage. So that would have been okay. With Altcoin Alert, we're trying to get 3% within the next 48 to 72 hours. And so I usually try to take that into consideration when I'm looking at potential exits. This was another instance where we went above the MFI and came back. And right around 2%, not bad. This one was probably the best one yet for this particular strategy. You get in about 2%, roughly the same move, but it takes much shorter, 3 hours. So, and that's a pretty easy alert to set. Right click on your MFI, add alert, crossing up on 20, which is the oversold area, once per bar close, and AA score purchase. So that's how you do that. Another thing I like to do is use the divergence from any indicators. Divergence is a disagreement between the candle action and the indicators. Let's see if I can show an example. I'm not really seeing a good one. You'll have to trust the indicator. Okay, bullish divergence, the green ones. 1.6, 2.3, not bad. Most of these took, you're in some drawdown before you catch this this bump. But yeah, these all 3 ended up working out. If you're looking to short, this one went up against you first and eventually came down to about 1.8, 1.6, depending on how long you stay in. Neither of these are all that great. Let's see if the super trend is better. This is kind of choppy. The sell alert did pretty well. Over 3%. SPY, almost 2. The sell had didn't go that well at first. Then it came down, not bad. Yeah, most of these moves are pretty small. So I'm not loving the setup. Yeah. But if you're on, say, 10x leverage, 1 to 2% is pretty good. You accumulate enough of those, and your balance will get chubby. So we like that. All right, any questions on Bella before we look at some others? Alrighty then, what else we got? Civic, CeeLo, Kasama, Theta I like. Haven't traded that in a while. Bullish 76.6, but bearish all here. Up 1.68% today. Let's check out Theta. Okay, on the, what's this one been? I haven't looked at this in a while. On the hour, it's below $1. Yeah, I was trading this earlier this year when it was up here. 170. Okay. Wow. Total sideways since this morning. Wow, that's not good. It's not even 1%. Okay, well, if you do want to get in this one, looks like we have support down here around 87 cents. Again here around 88, and again at around 89. So those would be potential entries. On the 15-minute chart for indicator alerts. These MFIs are not looking that good. Actually, we don't really get a good one until about here. And then we're up about 3%, not bad. I've been using the SuperTrend more than anything else lately, with a little bit of divergence as well. And yeah, it did okay on these. Let's start here, this buy alert. 1%. Sell, that was really good at 5%. It's a 0.5%, not so good. Yeah, 1.6. So yeah, 3% there, good stuff. This one's got just doing kind of a weave thing, which we like. You can trade both directions. And so that looks pretty good on the super trend. Let's check out divergence. Let's see, these didn't do very well yesterday. From this morning, yeah, these two fire off pretty close to each other. Bullish divergence about 1%. About the same for these probably. Yeah, I would have been in these for a while and maybe get out with 2%, but we're taking over a day. Well, these bearish ones didn't do well. This one did okay. Yeah, liking the super trend on this one. Okay, any questions on Theta? All right, let's do some other sorts on Altcoin Alert. Done the 2 AA sorts. I also like to look at Elder Impulse or the long-term sentiment. Sentiment is the Twitter data, what people are talking about. Elder Impulse is a combination of technical indicators. So when they match up, that's something I want to look at. I'll do it's only 8 bullish on the Elder Impulse. Okay, this is where I found the Didix I was looking at earlier. But now we don't have a match on the long term we did earlier. So there are no matches at all on the Elder Impulse daily with any sentiment. So I sort by long-term sentiment. We have a short term on XYO. Not that familiar with that one, or one. Yeah. Just not matching up because it's been such a mellow day. Wonder if people are taking off a little early for the American Thanksgiving break starting on Thursday. So those sorts are not helpful. 24-hour change. Sometimes look at this one. Chili's is up 13%. So this one could be something that's either due to break down and drop or keep pumping. So let's take a quick look at Chili's. Okay, on the 5. Yeah, trending up, had a double-digit move today. Most things were sideways or down. And for your support and support alerts, we've got support here right around 25.25. And again here at 23.89. And then again here at 23.37. So I think those are potential entries for dip trades. On the 15-minute chart, I think all the dips did well on the MFI. Yes. So starting, that's yesterday. Went back too far. Yeah, starting last night, each one of these did pretty well. Dips below 20, comes back. 3% move, we like that. This one dips below 20 and comes back. Yeah, really good move. If you stayed in the whole time, double digits, so good stuff there. There was a dip there that came back to 5%. So the MFI alert I showed you earlier would be a good way to go on this. On divergence. Okay, interesting. I didn't think it would print many with the trend up like this, but it did catch these. And all these did pretty well. All these bullish divergences. Even the bearish one did okay. Here's six different indicators of divergent, and you get a 5% move down. So good stuff there. And yeah, a lot of 4 and 5% moves here off divergence. So pretty cool. Mental note, I may have to go to that 24-hour sort more often instead of the AA score. And I'll often rotate, and when I'm using AA to figure out which one is providing the best information for that day. I'm a day trader, not a swing trader, so whatever's good for that day is what I'm looking for. On SuperTrend, yeah, not much action. You get a buy alert here at 8:15, and it's still in effect. So if you catch a really big move, sometimes there's some value in staying in the super trend until you get the next signal. But If you get chop like this, not so much. You know, like this sell signal comes in at 1 a.m. You know, 2% move though, that's pretty good. But this buy alert here is no good at all. Drops immediately. You know, you're gonna draw down 9%. Eventually it comes back. But you get some drama on this one. You know, you get 4% eventually in a day and a half. So it looked like divergence in the MFI was better than the super trend for that one. Okay, any questions on Chili's?
Yeah, when you said instead of the AA score, you went with another column. What was the other column you went with?
24-hour sort.
Thank you.
Yeah, 24-hour
Okay.
change.
Okay. Oh, the percentage change. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and you don't really need AA for this. You can do this on any, you could do this
Right.
on TradingView or, you know, CoinGecko or something like that. But, you know, since I have it open all day, it's just convenient for me to do it. And my other sorts weren't working out that well. So this happens from time to time.
You know, one thing I've noticed is sometimes I'll go to the 1 hour projected range
Mm-hmm.
and hit that column, and it will show the highest percentage expected for the next hour. And sometimes it's 20%, and it ends up being quite a large change. It's not showing up today.
Yeah.
But sometimes in that column there's a lot, and I just wonder why you don't use that because it's sometimes such a big percentage change.
I did a lot during the bull market. I used to
Okay.
use, that was my go-to sort.
Okay. Yeah.
Back in late 2020, early 21. And then I got better at using the sentiment sorts, and I've always used the AA score, but really what I'm trying to do with Altcoin Alert, and it's a little different than what, you know, I don't use it to get in and out of coins. I use it to show me what's moving that day. So that's why I like it.
Right. Okay.
You know,
Thanks.
after that, I think you're on your own. So that's why I show hopefully some ways to get better entries than just, you know, throwing a dart at the board.
Right.
All
Good.
right.
Thanks.
Thanks. So what else can we look at? Let's go to that 24-hour change again. I like what I saw on Chili's and Algo. I was actually trading Algo and Chili's yesterday, but not from this sort. I did a different sort on a different source. Anyway, let's go to Algo. Kind of drifting down. Oh, that's mask. I was looking at that one earlier. Okay. So yeah, trending out most of the day with this dip here late in the morning. So there's some pretty good support there, around 28 cents. And again here at about, well, 27 cents. So 27, 28 seem to be reasonably good entries if you're seeking that dip. On our 15-minute indicators, MFI, this dip and recovery petered out pretty quick, but did eventually come back after another dip into the MFI oversold area and picked up 3%, 15 hours, you know, not bad. And this one here was a good entry late last night, you know, 7%, but we really haven't had any good entries today that have dipped below the 20. Okay, so divergence, all bearish because it's trending up. Our last bullish was here, 7:30 yesterday morning. And obviously that was a really good move on that one. And a reminder, this divergence from any indicators version 4 does repaint, which means when the data changes, sometimes it'll move, it'll change which kind of messes up things when you're back testing. So I've got this other one here that I use for confirmation, multiple divergences. I'll click it on, non-repaint. So let's say if this one goes off and I don't see another one, I may ignore it. And then this one goes off, which is a better entry. And then I've got this one here to confirm it, like an hour and a half before or so. And that'd be more inclined to take it. So that's a bad example because it keeps going up, but that's how I often do that when I do it. Okay, divergence wasn't that good on that one, actually. At least the bearish one wasn't. Let's look at, and I've modified the SuperTrend settings. I've made them shorter. I think the ATR period's 10 or 12 or 14 or something. I can just reset setting. It's 22 actually. So that's way too long for day trading, I think. So it's a good sell alert here on Wednesday night. A really good buy alert here yesterday afternoon, and that's still on. So yeah, 10%, good stuff. So it hasn't triggered very much, but when it has, it's done pretty well. Okay, any questions on Algo? Well, I've gone through 4 or 5 scenarios now, in 3 different sorts. So that's probably where I will wrap up my Altcoin Alert focus. Is there anything else in the market or any other coins you guys want to look at before we wrap it up for a Friday afternoon? All right. Well, a reminder, there will not be a trade of the day Zoom for Friday, a week from today. I have friends in from out of town and family stuff, so I'm canceling that one ahead of time. Thanksgiving is a big holiday in this country, so we'll be doing that. You guys have a good weekend. If you're in Carbon, hang around. I'll be back in a minute.